Have you ever wondered why so many animals have tails while humans do not? Tails are one of the most distinctive features in the animal kingdom, yet they are often overlooked in discussions about anatomy. This question is a fantastic one that touches on evolution, adaptation, and survival. Let's embark on a journey to unravel why so many animals are equipped with tails, and why humans, surprisingly, aren't. The tail, more than just a fashion statement. To start, let's acknowledge that tails are not just a quirky evolutionary trait that animals happen to flaunt. They serve critical functions for many species, ranging from communication to balance to even repelling pesky insects. The reality is that tails are evolutionary tools, fine-tuned by nature over millions of years. If you think about animals, the first ones that probably come to mind are dogs. They wag their tails when happy, tuck them when scared, and use them to express a variety of emotions and feelings. But while dogs are a great example, the diversity of tail functions across the animal kingdom is astounding. So let's take a closer look at how various creatures use their tails, and why we humans got the short end of the stick. The dog's tail. Let's kick things off with one of the most well-known tail users, the dog. Dogs are well known for wagging their tails in excitement, and while this might seem like a simple way of expressing happiness, there's more to it than meets the eye. When a dog wags its tail, it's essentially communicating its emotional state. Dogs can't speak words, so they speak through their body language, and their tail is a crucial part of this language. For instance, a dog wagging its tail quickly might indicate excitement, joy, or eagerness. But a slow wag or a tail that's lowered between the legs can suggest that the dog is anxious, fearful, or uncertain. It's a communication tool, like a flag of emotion that helps the dog interact with other animals and humans. Horses, swishing away the pesky flies. Horses too have tails, and while they may not be wagging them to show emotion quite as dramatically as dogs, their tails serve an equally important purpose. One of the main roles of a horse's tail is to swish away flies. Imagine standing in a field on a hot day with pesky insects buzzing around your face. Now, imagine you were a horse and couldn't just swat them away with your hand. That's where the tail comes in. Much like a fly swatter, a horse's tail is designed to flick and swipe at the air, sending flies flying in the other direction. And let's not forget cows, who also use their tails in a similar manner. These animals are basically equipped with built-in insect repellents, making their tails invaluable for staying comfortable in the wild. Rats, the balancing act. When you think of a rat, you probably don't immediately think of elegance. But these little creatures are surprisingly graceful, and especially when it comes to balancing. A rat's tail is a key component in helping it stay steady, particularly when navigating narrow or elevated spaces. Picture yourself walking on the edge of a curb. If you start to feel wobbly, you might extend your arms to regain balance. In a similar way, a rat extends its tail to maintain equilibrium as it scurries along ledges, wires, or any precarious surface. Rats are often found in places where balance is essential, whether it's in a tight tunnel or a high-up perch. Their tails act as counterbalances, allowing them to move confidently without toppling over. Cats, perfecting the art of balance. Cats, too, are famous for their ability to balance. Whether they're perched on a fence or gracefully leaping from one surface to another, cats rely heavily on their tails to maintain stability. If you've ever watched a cat carefully stalk a mouse or gracefully jump from a tree, you've seen their tail working in action. A cat's tail acts like a rudder, helping to steer their body mid-air, much like a tightrope walker using a balancing pole. Without that tail, a cat's acrobatic feats would be much harder to pull off. So, the next time you see your cat land from a height with the finesse of a gymnast, just know that its tail played a key role in making that landing smooth and graceful. Monkeys, the extra limb. Monkeys, especially species like spider monkeys, have tails that are far more functional than what most of us could ever imagine. These are not your ordinary fluffy appendages. These tails are incredibly strong and flexible, allowing monkeys to use them almost like a fifth hand. Monkeys can wrap their tails around branches, helping them swing through the treetops with ease. In fact, some monkeys can use their tails to grab onto objects, hang from trees, or even perform feats of agility that would make gymnasts jealous. Imagine swinging through trees like Tarzan, but with a tail that helps you cling to branches and sway from tree to tree. Sounds like a wild adventure, right? Well, that's what life is like for monkeys with prehensile tails, making them one of the most tail-dependent creatures out there. Why don't humans have tails? So, we've covered some of the most impressive tail-related feats in the animal kingdom. But now the burning question is, why don't humans have tails? After all, with all these cool tail tricks, wouldn't it be nice to have one of our own? The reason humans don't have tails boils down to evolution. Tails are highly beneficial for animals that need them for balance, communication, or survival. But as humans evolved to walk on two legs, we lost the need for a tail. In fact, the remnants of a tail are still present in our bodies, hidden in the form of the coccyx, better known as the tailbone. This tiny structure is a remnant of what used to be a fully functioning tail in our distant ancestors. Humans developed other ways to stay balanced, communicate, and protect themselves. For example, we use our arms and hands for balance, especially when navigating tricky terrain. We communicate through facial expressions, speech, and body language, eliminating the need for a tail as a tool for signaling emotions. And while insects might be a nuisance, we've got hands to swat them away, so we don't need to rely on a tail to keep bugs at bay. The tailbone. Interestingly, while we no longer need a tail, the coccyx, the tiny bone at the base of our spine, is a reminder of our evolutionary past. This vestigial structure is what remains of the tail our ancestors had. It might not be functional now, but it serves as a fascinating reminder of how evolution works. Over time, our species adapted to walking on two legs, and the tail gradually became less necessary for survival. As much as tails are useful in the animal world, humans don't miss them. The coccyx, for all its historical significance, doesn't hinder us in any meaningful way. In fact, it mostly just sits there, silently reminding us of our evolutionary history. Other fun facts about tails. Tails serve many fascinating purposes across different species. For aquatic mammals like whales and dolphins, their tails or flukes are crucial for propulsion, allowing them to swim gracefully through the water with powerful up and down strokes that enable incredible speed. In scorpions, their dramatic tails are equipped with venomous stingers, serving as a defense mechanism to ward off predators. Chameleons, on the other hand, use their tails for balance while navigating trees and bushes, and also for grasping branches, almost like an extra hand to help them climb. Tails are truly versatile and essential for survival in many creatures. Thanks for joining us on this tail-tastic journey through the animal kingdom. If you enjoyed learning about how tails help animals, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more fun facts. Drop a comment below if you have any more questions about animals or anything else you'd like to know. We love hearing from you. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.